And then the final saint that we celebrate today in the American Catholic Church in the United States, we see an image of him here in the front. Who else do we celebrate? Saint Martin Luther King this week. Did I say Saint Martin Luther King? Interesting. In the American Catholic Church, we have various saints, various persons who've been canonized simply because they've been lifted up as examples and models for us to be able to follow. Do we know the story of Martin Luther King? Was his name really Martin Luther? His name was really Michael. Did you know that? So Michael King, he was baptized Michael, and he was renamed Martin Luther after whom? After the great reformer. Father Martin Luther was an Augustinian priest who had some problems with the Roman Catholic Church back in the 16th century with them selling indulgences and doing different things that he just didn't think was right. So he led this reform in the church, and so his parents renamed Michael King Martin Luther King. So far so good? So with Martin Luther King, we know him today as a pastor. We know that he was a pastor, an activist, the leader in the civil rights movement in the 1950s and 60s. A lot of it began in 1955 when he helped to lead the Montgomery Bus Boycott. Mexico on the mind here. He led the Montgomery Bus Boycott. 1963, he became famous for the March on Washington. What was the speech he gave in Washington? I have a dream. A dream about how it is that we might one day live in a post-racial society where race means a little less and people won't be judged by the color of their skin. 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize, and in 1965, he led the marches from Selma to Montgomery. I understand that there's a new movie out about those events for those of us who are interested in learning more about St. Martin Luther King days.
What changed, he brought about, not just him, but also about other people.
Many people. He wasn't alone. He was part of a movement.
But he opened the door for all races.
It opened the door for every one of us. Some of us are old enough to remember, even as part of the Mexican-American community, how it is that our parents or grandparents could not enter certain restaurants, but had to be served out of back windows or side windows. So this movement, the civil rights movement, was a boon for all of us.
Every American.
It helped to lift us all up, right? A rising tide raises all boats, right? And the civil rights movement helped to lift us all up.
Was Martin Luther just a saint in America or both Roman?
Excellent question. Is Martin Luther King a saint in the Roman Catholic Church as well? He is not yet. And one of the reasons is because does the Roman Catholic Church canonize anyone outside of the Roman Catholic Church? No, the Church doesn't. How interesting. So we said, let's see, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago that there's only one male United States citizen who is a saint in the Roman Catholic Church. Sorry guys, there's only one guy, one U.S. man who is a saint in the Roman Catholic Church. You remember who that is? St. John Neumann. St. John Neumann, there's a church named after him in southwest Austin. He is the only U.S. male citizen who is a saint in the Roman Church. In the American Catholic Church, I can think of at least 2 other saints who instantly come to mind. Martin Luther King, who is canonized by the American Catholic Church, and Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez, also a saint in the American Catholic Church. We'll return and talk about him when we celebrate his day in the end of March.